key 4 steps that you need to take after being accepted to graduate school? Stick around and let's talk about it today on this episode of Navigating Academia. What's up, Navigating Academia family? This is your buddy and personal academic mentor, Dr. J. Phoenix Singh, coming at you to be able to discuss what I believe to be the 4 key steps that you need to take after being accepted into graduate school. If you've been accepted, congratulations. This is a huge, huge triumph for you, and I could not be more proud. Remember that before you start, I want to make sure that you max out those protective factors in your life, be they relationships, getting good sleep hygiene, physical and mental health, to be able to make sure that you are ready for this challenge. It's going to be really, really tough, but I believe in you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to be able to make sure you get all the guidance over the upcoming several years because I really believe in you. I think you're going to be awesome, seriously. So what are these 4 steps, right? Let's jump right in. Step number 1, start planning your finances. Determine your expected costs, create a budget. Please create a budget. There's so many budgeting apps, every dollar. There's so many of these different things. Mint, right? Keep track using Credit Karma of your credit, levels and so forth. Start applying for scholarships and grants and student loans to be able to cover the money in that budget, especially because for a lot of graduate programs, there's no tuition waiver. For some, there are. So things, for example, like clinical psychology PhDs. But if you're applying to something like a PsyD, there's a teeny tiny baby number of universities that offer anything like a tuition waiver. And keep in mind that not only do you have to pay tuition, you also have regular living expenses. And if you decide to have some sort of side job or part-time position, you are going to be working significantly more years than the minimum number of years to finish in grad school. And also, if you need to apply to jobs afterwards and you have somebody who didn't have that part-time job to be able to cover expenses and therefore they had more time to spend on publications, more time to spend on grants, more time to be able to spend on personal connections, they will get the job over you. And so that's important to be able to take into consideration. So number 1, start planning your finances. Number 2, sounds obvious, find a place to live. If it's not an online program, hopefully if it's an online program, you already have a place to live. I'm hoping over here, okay? So find a place to live. Start searching for a place to live near your school, preferably, and make arrangements to move if necessary. I have a lot of friends who waited until the last minute to do this, and they were living in places they really didn't want to be because it was a stressful process. And even if it was something where they found a great place, just making the arrangements to move, all of their stuff, and if they didn't have too much stuff because they were just coming straight from undergrad, they didn't get there early enough to at least go to IKEA or something to be able to build everything. And it was like a nightmare for them. I don't want you to get into that situation, all right? So start searching immediately. If you've maybe never even been to the city or the town where the university is, fly out, give it a shot, find out what the cheapest flight is, and just hop on it, even if it's a plane that's still got propellers for God knows what reason, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, very important, get organized. Start preparing for those academic rigors of grad school. It is found just fundamentally different, right, than undergrad. You are going to need to be so much more independent. You need to take care of yourself so much more. You need to set up a study schedule if it's the type of doctoral program where you need to do classes. You need to acquire all your necessary materials like, textbooks, any softwares you may need to be able to do your research. Maybe your target supervisor wants you to be able to get additional materials that may be specific to your field or certification specific to your field before you start. Get all of that information. The last thing you want to do is to be able to be caught off guard and have a slow launch at the end of the day, all right? And number 4, of course, this to me is the most fun one, is to be able to meet your cohort members and other faculty members other than just your target supervisor. Attend orientation. It's so much fun. My recommendation always, I want you guys to be able to spend as much time as possible getting to know people the first 2 to 3 weeks. I want you to go out and have drinks. It's okay if you don't do something like drink alcohol. I really don't drink alcohol that much. I'm just not interested. But that said, I'll go out and have a Diet Coke with you anytime. I'd love to. Let's go to a bar. Let's go to a club. Let's have a Diet Coke. We're going to have a great time, okay? Now, this is one of those situations where if you don't do that, maybe you're not a very, social person, or maybe for whatever reason, you're doing other things at the time, you have other obligations. Unfortunately, after those initial weeks, people kind of click up, and then it's much harder to be able to break break into those cliques. And I really do believe that having good relationships with your grad student cohort, right, regardless of whether they're in your particular lab or not, is a key part of these protective factors I keep talking about that are going to sustain your mental and physical health throughout graduate school, okay? And also, of course, it's going to build not just that support system, but a professional network that is going to benefit you down the line even after graduation. So, those are my 4 suggestions for you. Thank you so much for joining me today, y'all. You know that I love you and I really appreciate you. So please take the time to like this video, share it with your friends, colleagues, and students. And also, if you really enjoyed it, take a link and I want you to share it on your favorite social media platform. And comment below because I'd love to hear from you as always. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to get out there and be your best self. God bless you. Peace. Thank you so much for stopping by, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here as always. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more in this series on navigating academia, please click on one of these links over here to be able to view more original content. I hope to see you there.